Hi everyone, this is Sanjana. Welcome back to my channel. I've got a video that's a little different to other personal finance videos that I've created. In this video, I want to share with you how much I spent in Singapore remotely working there for 2 days before flying off to India. Now, this holiday was meant to be a remote working holiday whilst I made my way around Singapore and then going to India for my friend's wedding. However, we all know when you get caught up with travels, it's really hard to pull out your laptop and start working. However, I did get to do some emails and I did get to shoot some content whilst I was still in Singapore. Okay, so I've got a few rules before we begin. Given this is a personal finance channel, all currency has been converted to Australian dollars. I was on this trip with my friends, so we used the app Splitwise, which allowed us to share the expenses evenly and keep track of all of our spending. I used my credit card everywhere possible. I did not convert any cash to Singaporean dollars. I just found this was the easiest way for me. And honestly, the conversion and the exchange rate would have actually costed me more if I had converted my Australian dollars to Singaporean dollars. Instead, I had to pay an international transaction fee, which is still far less than what the conversion would have costed me. So international transaction fees cost me around $10 all up. So day one was a Saturday. We flew from Sydney to Singapore and we flew with Singapore Airlines. The ticket was $1,509. However, this was a return flight to India. And if we were to have a look at some flights online for Singapore, they are around $1,100 just to Singapore. So once we had arrived at the airport, we actually visited the Jewel, which is a monument which is so beautiful. It is in the airport itself. Before we left, we wanted to make sure we visited this, and it's got beautiful forest-like, jungle-like feature with a water feature. I'm not even sure how you can describe it, but it was absolutely stunning. So we made sure we had a quick look at this before heading out. And we took a taxi straight to our hotel, which was in Marina Bay Sands. And we were staying at the Park Royal Collections Hotel, which was a stunning hotel. Definitely recommend it if you are in Marina Bay. It was quite affordable as well. We felt it was quite fair in terms of the pricing, and it was definitely worth staying there in my opinion. We paid $204 a night for 2 nights for a 5-star hotel. Now, because we were quite tired from our travels, it was an 8.5-hour journey to Singapore. I was getting quite peckish as we reached the hotel, so I ordered some room service, some chips and some chicken skewers. We also ended up booking for the breakfast buffet the next morning, and I had gotten myself a bottle of water from the minibar as well. So all up, that cost me an extra $50. After we had been fed, we decided to head off and explore Marina Bay Sands and see what Singapore had to offer. So we walked out of our hotel and we did most of our travels by foot because we thought it would be great to get the exercise in and get our blood circulation going given our 8.5-hour flight. So we walked around Marina Bay Sands, we hit up some of the shopping centers, and mind you, it was a very hot day in Singapore. The temperature was about 35 degrees and humidity was about 90%. So I was absolutely drenched by the end of that walk. It took us about half an hour to reach Gardens by the Bay, where we visited the cloud forest, which was absolutely stunning, great feature to see, and it's something that I've never seen before in my life. Definitely worth checking it out. We had a look at the flower dome as well, and then we grabbed a drink because it was very hot that evening, and that drink cost me $5. And to get tickets into the Gardens by the Bay, that cost me $60.97. As we were wandering around, we became hungry, so it was time for dinner. We wanted to go check out some of the local Singaporean cuisines that were available. We didn't want to try something that was touristy, so we asked around, and the locals suggested that we visit Satay by the Bay, which was absolutely stunning. They've got lots of stalls open and you can honestly select different types of cuisines. So I wanted to get some Thai food, which is what I did, and it's like a hawker Chan style center, which is basically very affordable food, and the flavor is jam-packed in whatever you order. So it was great to get a little touch of the locals and how they eat and what they eat. and that cost me $15. And then moving on to day 2, like I said, we had the breakfast buffet, which was absolutely stunning, and it kept us full for a very long time. We had a few things planned for today, so we wanted to go see the Merlion. That was a very, very populated place to be. We ended up going to Chinatown as well, exploring a little bit there, visiting some of the temples, very beautiful. We saw some Hindu temples as well, and obviously some Buddhist temples. And we actually ended up doing this entire trip by foot, except for catching a bus from our hotel to drop us at a nearby place, but everything else we had done by foot. And as implied, we did end up doing about 15,000 steps on day 1 and 15,000 steps on day 2. So by the end of it, we were quite knackered and we wanted to head back to our hotel and just recharge, refresh. We went to the Hawker Chan Center, which is an amazing center for Singaporean cuisine. We went to a Michelin star restaurant and had actually won a competition between Gordon Ramsay, and it is selling their Hainanese chicken, which was so amazing. It's such a simple food, but tasted incredible. I had 2 servings of that. We had some laksa, and then we had some coconut ball dessert as well, which was delicious. So for the Hawker Chan Center, I ended up paying $22. And at Chinatown, I ended up getting a juice because I was getting very dehydrated given the high humidity levels. I ended up getting a juice, which was worth $5. And then we made our way directly to C'est La Vie, which is Marina Bay Sands Hotel. It kind of reminds me of the Crown Building in Barangaroo here in Sydney. So we went in, we explored, we sat down, and it was sunset time, so we had a stunning view. We ordered a dessert and we ordered some wine, and this cost me $46.47. Which is quite expensive if you ask me, but I suppose it justifies the stunning view. After C'est La Vie, the bar area, we ended up going down to watch the light show, which was absolutely stunning. Definitely recommend it. I believe it started at 8 p.m. So if you're around, I believe it's a daily show, definitely worth checking that out. It was just incredible to see the music, the water feature function, and laser beams. Oh, it was just incredible. And by the end of it, my friend and I were quite tired, so we made our way back to our hotel by foot, and we decided to head to the swimming pool that was in our hotel. It had beautiful lights from underneath the pool, which had been lit up. I went for a nice swim to wash away all of the pain from walking from all day. However, this swim was absolutely needed, and I then ended up going back to the hotel room and calling it a night because we had an early flight the next morning to India. So all up, our taxi cost us around $42. So this was taxis between the airport and the hotel, and then one taxi in between from, I believe, the Hawker Chan Center to the Marina Bay Sands area. And then on day 3, we made our way to the airport. At the airport, we had about 3 hours before our flight. I ended up grabbing some breakfast. I got a croissant and I got a coffee. So this cost me $15, which is very expensive if you ask me, but I have to say it was one of the best croissants I've ever had, and it was quite a big size as well, so quite glad with that. So all up, for the 2 days in Singapore, the entire trip had costed me $2,148.28. However, if you minus the flight, it cost me around $639.28 for a 2-day trip. And that is my experience of being in Singapore. I hope you guys enjoyed this type of video. I know it's a little different for my channel, and I love watching these kinds of videos just so I'm able to plan for my next holiday. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a lot. And be sure to follow me on my Instagram and my TikTok accounts, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye guys.